And then being an international student, you have to prioritize you going to school every day to show up because that's the reason why you're in the United States. You have to show up for your classes, don't miss your classes, and then the projects are tough. They expect you to be ready. And the challenges of being an international student in the school environment has its own face too. I'm not gonna lie. Dealing with American citizens that in school that is just like they are forced to come to school. But you coming from Africa, coming from Nigeria, you have a goal within a certain period of time. And then you want to come out in flying colors. But they are born here.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Nigerian Abroad Show. Today is going to be very interesting because today is the last day of the year. Today is on the 30th, right?
Yes.
So, which is a great day. And today I have a fantastic person here. I have a very solid person here. His name is Hafiz Abiodu, alias Fizzy Money.
I'm doing very well. Very well.
Man,
very well. How about yourself?
Good to have you on the show, man.
Yeah.
I know this period is quite busy for you, but it's good to have you on the show today. Because I've been trying to bring him on this show, on this Nigerian Abroad Show. It's quite solid. It's been, he's in Houston, by the way. They have the fresh lifestyle out there, and it's good to bring him on the show. Hopefully we're going to get thousands of views this time.
It's going to come, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. So today we're going to be talking about the student phase of, coming to America or traveling abroad. So I just decided to bring in Fizzy because he's actually a student over here too. He attends a school in Texas. So I will just let Fizzy just do a little bit of introduction about his own phase of schooling over here. How has it been so far?
Well, good day, everyone. My name is Abiodun. Call me Fizzy. Being an international student in the United States is a great feeling. It's an opportunity for you to explore in another culture. At the same time, now, quick story about myself. I finished my bachelor's in 2014, 2014. So I never had in mind that I'm going to do another master's because I'm not even ready. I just want to get into the world and then make money, focus on my fashion business and making money. But when it came the time I didn't even expect it. I have a long-term goal of getting my master's, but I never knew it's just going to come so soon. I was just like, let me try it. Then it worked. Although I prepared for it, and then now I'm here, schooling in Texas. With my experience, it's not so easy, but now we are here. I'm getting closer to the final lap. Being an adult at a certain age, going to school again, is not that easy. Balancing life outside school and then you going to school every day. And then being an international student, you have to prioritize you going to school every day to show up because that's the reason why you're in the United States. You have to show up for your classes, don't miss your classes, and then the projects are tough. They expect you to be ready. And the challenges of being an international student in the school environment has its own face too. I'm not gonna lie. Dealing with American citizens that in school that is just like they are forced to come to school. But you coming from Africa, coming from Nigeria, you have a goal within a certain period of time. And then you want to come out in flying colors. But they are born here. They don't even care with flying colors. If it's either black or blue, they don't care. They just want to pass through. But you,
Right.
as an African, as a Nigerian, coming from where you are coming from down here, It's a struggle. And then you have to come out in flying colors. It's a must to you. Dealing with
It's a
them.
must.
Dealing with them. So take for instance now, you are in a class. Being an international student, you have a certain number of people you have in the class as an international student, mixing with citizens that are born here. You are given a project. How you are going to handle that project? They are not going to handle it the same way you are going to handle the project. They are nonchalant. They don't get the project done. Should I say they don't get serious with the project? Not on the week you need to submit the project. And the timeline you have from the project, it might be the day you start school for the semester to the end of the semester.
That's a powerful story and a very powerful point. So
So
that means when it comes to project, you know, they really don't care.
no, they really
Most of
don't
them.
care. Not until the final day. Take for instance, I had a project last semester, and since day one they gave us the project. I've been trying to get in touch with you because you are being divided into group. The professor will divide you guys into group, and then you have to wherever you find yourself, you need to manage. That's the part of the team building. You need to manage everything that happens, and then being able to cohabit with each other because we came from different culture, and then the way I raised you need to manage it to prepare you for the outside world where you're going to work in to get the hands-on experience.
That's
And
so.
after you
But
being
one thing, okay, sorry,
right,
Fizzy. Also, I'm thinking of something, right? I just wanted, because I just feel some of the listeners would also want one thing when you are done with this particular point. I want, I wanted to put this word in that probably you can also, I want you to, give our listeners that view. What is exactly spark your interest to want to come and study in the US? And also your course of study, they would want to know it so that they can actually be putting it together and understanding your point of reference.
okay,
So I would love you to address that too.
okay, okay. Let me reverse back. Back in Nigeria, I have my own business. I run my fashion business, and I feel
Sorry
like
to cut you. Let me give you a shout out to your collections. He has one of the best. You see the clothes I'm wearing is one that styled me. So for you guys to know, it's just for you to know. So I'm just gonna put that to that. Continue.
so. Being in the business world, I felt like I want to do more. And then I love doing business. At the same time, my background is from the IT background. So I started making research how to match the business and the IT together. So I found out about this course called Masters Information Systems, which you can fall into category of doing business and then doing the job in the IT space. And then I found my interest in information system, which is divided into area. You can be a BI, business analyst, business intelligence analyst, data analyst, different different categories. And then I found out that I can bring the business and IT together. That is what exactly sparked my interest in my area of study right now. And a lot of people don't know about it, but it's actually the real big deal now. If you can jump
But
on it.
why the USA?
The in the United
Because sorry,
States,
because I know there's option for Canada and there's a lot of people that have Japa to the UK for schooling. But why US? So I also just also want you to walk us through how picking a university is very tough. But how were you able to navigate through that? You know, maybe we should, those are the phases we want to look at. How were you able to navigate? What are the processes? Because a lot of people are just listening to just be able to grasp one or two things, especially as a, not just life as a student only, but they want, the process. Okay, maybe somebody's in Nigeria listening to us now, and they also want to, you know, choose that opportunity. So would you also, those are the questions, that's lingering. But I'm going to ask step by step, but I just want you to just put it into your word.
yeah. So I would prefer you just ask me step by step, actually, because
Okay, okay.
can tell you. So back to where I was. The reason why I chose the United States is just like the market is big right here, and then US is one of the biggest space for you to do your business and then excel, because there comes different culture. You are mixing with people from different space, because everybody is bringing their business down to the US, and it's a great space. It give you US give you the opportunity as an international student for you to learn. That's the good side. And that's the point of attraction. Applying for schools. So now I'm coming back to your step-by-step question. You can stop me and then ask. So when the reason why I chose to school in Texas is just because I feel like the weather is more like Nigeria. It's friendly. It's not too cold. It gets too hot. Don't mistake me. It gets too hot more than Nigeria. But it's something I can just find my way around it. And then with the community that has a lot of Nigeria, thousands of Nigerians that are doing well, it make you feel as if you're at home. That's the more reason why I chose to school here in Texas. So you can go on with the
That's
next question.
yeah, that's powerful because like I said, sometimes when I'm going to Texas, I try as much as possible to pack things as if I'm going to Nigeria. And one of the reasons why I didn't go to Nigeria for a while was the fact that instead of going to Nigeria, I'd go to Texas
Thanks.
because I can, just get Nigerian food. You know, go to Houston. It's like it's even cheaper over there compared to New York. Like if you look at the food, how expensive things are here when it comes to Nigerian food. Like the food you're gonna get $25 over here, you're gonna get it $5 in Houston, Texas.
Correct.
And it's something I can't really explain why they do it like that, but it's quite cheaper there. So if you want to consider schooling, you can look at Texas. New York is not bad too, but it's quite different. Just like the Lagos
Things
feel.
are cheaper
You
here.
understand what I'm saying?
Things are cheaper when
Yeah,
it comes
you're
to
right. Housing,
housing,
yeah,
food. They are much more affordable
yeah,
than
yes.
New York and in terms of other places, which I know of. There might be some cheaper space. Like take for instance Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, they're cheaper. Louisiana, but
But can you
you
when
have
you
to
say they're
streamline.
cheaper, so if you say you want to go and live in places like Memphis, I was in Memphis for a business event or business project or whatever. So the thing is, I can tell you for free, when I went to Memphis airport, there was nobody at the airport. So can you actually live in Memphis? If they say somebody is bored to death in America, it's all those places like Alabama and all that. Those are places that you'll be bored to death. You don't have any friend. You understand? New York, you can still, probably relate with people.
People.
You know, if you look at Texas, it's like your home. You're not gonna be homesick.
Yeah.
You understand? If you look at that part. But if you are leaving all those places, forget. You understand what I'm saying? That's the honest truth. It's cheaper in Alabama. You can get a house of $300, maybe $400. But guess what? Would you be able to get a job? Well, quite a number of things that we're going to talk about, but don't let us digress. So let's just follow step by step and see how it is. So now, let's talk about okay, now you already have the idea that, oh man, I need to go and school. I really want to further more. And my choice is United States of America. So what's the next step? So you decided to choose schools, right? So how
Mm-hmm.
was the process like? Because I know quite a number of people who have tried to want to school in US, all right? And where it ended is that schooling part to look for schools is almost impossible for them. So what idea, you don't have to give them, all the in-depth knowledge or the information you want to share. It's up to you. What are the steps you took after then?
So after making, first of all, you have to decide, you have to start with your purpose. Give yourself a timeline to achieve the application. The first phase is making research. What am I going to study? How does it correlate with what I want to do? What are the opportunities? Lastly, how can it benefit my society? That's important as well. Because at the end of the day, if you acquire this knowledge, you have to think of how to improve your society with it because you are going back to Nigeria. I don't know about any other person. I don't know about any other person. By plan, I'm planning to go back to Nigeria and then impact lives and then improve my society too. That's important. You have to think about that as well. So that part is part of that. And after choosing the school, make school of your choice and then make your research on the school. What are the opportunities as an international student? The state you are going to, make research about the state you are going to at that moment. After that, you continue the application process. Go to the school's website and then you can make inquiry. Send an email to the admission director, admission board, make inquiry, ask questions, ask about scholarship. After that, you can go ahead and apply on the school website. Although sometimes some school they require you to pay a certain amount for application fee, while some school can give you a waiver after applying attending their webinar. They can give you a waiver for you to scale through, for you to not to pay the admission fee, which is around between $50 to $100. Some school they don't require you to pay admission fee, but you need to pay a certain amount, which goes to your first payment. So they can give you the admission. They will tell you to unlock the full admission. You need to pay a certain amount for commitment, which can be around between $200 like $300. But being that you can, as an international student in Nigeria, I know how exchange rate is. How the exchange rate it can affect negatively, but it's okay. You can check for the cheaper ones. There are ones of $75, $70, $50. Apply for it. You write a statement of purpose. Some require you to write an English test, which is IELTS. There are other two types. I can't remember the names for English tests. Some you can email them, tell them you are coming from an English speaking country. All they require you to do is just letter of attestation that you understand and can read in English. For you not to do IELTS, according to my research, I figured that you can do it that way. After doing all that, you write a statement of purpose, SOP. Some school require it, some school don't require it. And then you have to make sure your resume is intact. You have to arrange your resume, your CV, like we call it in Nigeria. Your CV, you have to make it is on point. If you don't know, if you can't do it by yourself, go to ChatGPT. Give ChatGPT the prompt to arrange it for you in this purpose. Be professional. US is not playing. You have to be professional in everything you do. Let them know that you are serious. Your resume, after writing a resume and then you fill in the application fee step by step. It takes time, which you need to dedicate your time. And then you have to read. Make sure there's no mistake. If you're applying for three different schools in different states, you have to do the SOP differently. The statement of purpose, they will ask you for 250 letter. Some will tell you to write an essay. Make sure you address it to different school accordingly. Some people make that mistake of giving the essay for A to B. And then you might not hear from them or hear from any other school while you're applying. They won't tell you where you have a fault. They will see you like you don't know what you're doing. They're not going to respond to you. And mind you, the education system here, they have database. If you keep applying for schools and then you keep making these mistakes, you just apply, you don't hear from them. They're not going to figure it out for you. You need to figure it out yourself. That's why you need to read and make sure as soon as you're filling the application, you are filling the right one, and then you are putting the right details. And one thing about US is just that you have to be detailed.
You have to be detailed.
If they ask you a question, tell me about yourself. They didn't ask you when your daddy died, when your mother died. No. They don't want to know about that. Make it brief and detailed. Some people,
Brief.
they tend to talk too much. They ask you that what is this? What is? Go straight to the point. Be detailed at the same time. They don't have time. Most of the people reviewing this application, they don't have time to read this thing. Just the detail, make it short. They don't have time to read. They have more than 250,000 applications they are reading at the same time. They have less than 30 seconds to spend on your application. They'll just, if you are talking to one of them, then you. And then when you put in on your application, and then you have to put in mind that you have to pay for WES to evaluate your transcript, your results from your bachelor's or whatever you are. They will evaluate that. And then WES will send the official transcript to the school. The school only accepts the official transcript from the WES. And then WES, I think WES is about $365. And then for postage to the school is about $40. So that's about $400 for you to process WES. After doing all that, they will decide about the application. It's not something that hard, but it just need you to be attentive, and then you need to focus on them, filling the right information to the right spaces. Don't mix it up. That's just it. So the next stage is the interview stage. No, go ahead.
I
You
think
want to say something?
we'll come up to that.
Okay.
So you've already made a point, which is, you have to be detailed in your application. Is very, very important, just like what you noted. Being detailed is very important, because if you're not detailed, you're just back and forth and all that. So once you have that, I think it's I-20, right?
Yeah.
So once you have the I-20, then we have the interview. All right. So let's talk about the interview, because, what are the probability that once you have an I-20, you're going to get a visa? That's one. So I also want you to, give our listeners, golden nuggets for them to be able to, nail that student visa applications.
Well, I will tell you for the fact that you are giving I-20 does not mean you'll be given the visa.
Sorry. So what's the probability? Is there more chances than
There,
somebody who's on a, probably going to visit or something?
there are more chances, but keep it at the back of your mind that the United States want people with purpose. The interview, you have to be prepared. You can't just go like you want to go and see a friend. It's okay to be relaxed, but at the same time, you need to know what you want. The purpose of the interview is to separate people that are just going for going sake, because the US, da 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 da. Da. And then a lot of our people back in Nigeria and in Africa, they believe that when you get to the US, you're automatically. No, man. No. You are starting from the scratch. You have to work for a penny that you want to own. You have to work for everything. You are coming from Africa as a millionaire. When you come to the US, you are starting from scratch. And then US does not give room for people that are lazy. You have to be on your game at all times. They need people with ideas, great thinker, great mind, and people with purpose. Going for an interview. You have an I-20, going for an interview. The interviewer, the visa officers, they are psychologists. They hold most of them have a doctorate degree. They know when you are saying the right thing. It's just left for them to throw you one or two questions, give you scenarios. So in terms of you having an I-20, when you have your I-20, that's about 30% to 70%. So you having an I-20 is the document. I-20 is the document tying the school and the US government that University of Oklahoma, and United States government, I'm giving Alex this opportunity as a student to come to the United States. They're handing it over to United States. United States will not take it off from there. Okay, this Alex you want to bring, let's interview this Alex. What this person has, what's his or her purpose. That's where the interviewer comes in. Most importantly, you need to be prepared. They can ask you questions from any angle. To you, it might be stupid, but they need you to be professional, whatever you do. That's it.
What are the documents do you think, just to follow up with what, for the interview, what are the documents that you wish you knew about ahead of time that you, for the interviews?
Well, the documents the school require you to have, the necessary documents, after they give.
No, sorry. I mean the one that took you out of, guard, that you didn't even think to bring along with you, that later you got to know that, this document is very vital for, especially during interviews, it can be asked about.
Well, actually, I can tell you, while I was going to the embassy, I brought every document, not just one. Each document, I made them in 3 copies. So take, for instance, if this is my passport,
You really meant business.
I made 3 copies. Copy 1, copy 2, copy 3, in 3 different my clear bag full of documents. Okay, if you want to take this one, I have another one. Don't worry, keep it. I was prepared. I have same document in 3 different my clear bags. They know I'm not coming to play. So I have every document. You have to have your DS-160, your I-20, your passport, your financial affidavit, and your bank statement or your sponsor's bank statement. And he has to be legit. I will advise you. He has to be legit, and then everything you are doing, just know there's a database for it. Everything has to be legit because they will always verify. They will always verify. And new development now, US and Canada has one database now. If you applied for Canada last year, they rejected you based on some verified documents. Don't try and bring the same style to the US. They are using one database now, starting from 2025. Everything will be verified. Everything will be verified. That's, I'm telling you for free. Make sure your documents are valid. It will be verified and it goes into the database system. Well, being an international student in the US is really fun. It's really fun.
So, were there any major hiccups along the way while you are doing your paperwork? When I mean trying to, even before the visa, when you're putting the visa document together, what's the name of this one? The admission document together. Were there
Yeah,
any hiccups that you
I-20.
you love people to learn about?
Well, what I would say is just that at at that point you putting all everything together, the your application, the GSI because they are, especially when you're filling up your DS 160, it takes time. You have to save and come back. Make sure you print every page. When you're filling the school application, it has to be the same thing on DS 160. Don't make sure there's no mistake. At some point, you'll be like, oh no, I can't do it anymore. You keep going from pages to pages, pages to pages. No, take your time. Dedicate a particular period for it. If you prepare your mind that this is what I want to do, make time for it. No procrastination. Do it right. Do it right. At that point, you want to give up because at that point, while I was filling my application, I was like, oh no, this is too much. You keep going from pages to pages. I thought I'm done. This school sent me a message that you need reference. They can be from your workplace, and I needed to start calling my mentor, calling my boss at work. This is why I need to. This is what I want to do. Being the kind of person I am, that I don't like to talk too much. But I had to explain why. Because they are going to verify. But for someone to write you a reference letter, they have to know you to the depth. And then you have to tell them the purpose as well. So at some point you'll be like, man, do I still need to do this? Yeah, but don't give up. Make sure you do it. Make sure you do it at the right time.
All right. So let's just look at the interview, because after the interview, we'll now talk about the travel, getting started with the travel. So how did it go for you, the interview? How did it feel like? What are the questions that you can, if you can still remember, what are the questions that was asked?
So the interview wasn't smooth. It wasn't smooth like that, I can tell you. While I was going for my interview, I got I got to the embassy. We were in a line. The queue was long. Everybody was trying to have the time. So I was at the last stage of entry before my visa interview. And then the security guard there, it was a lady standing. She came to me. So she was checking everyone's documents, passport and all. And then she saw my passport. And then she was like, this is a new passport. You know how Nigerians can be. This is this passport. Where is your old passport? It's expired. I said, you need to go and bring it. Maybe you have committed crime. I was like, come on now. If I have committed any crime, Nigeria is not like that anymore. You can get it clear. I've never committed any crime. You can see, just type in my name, make research everywhere. Most of the parts in Nigeria now, they take your fingerprint. You don't really need audits. And then I didn't argue. I said, okay, I just moved in. I just listened to her. I didn't do anything. Some people, they were like, oh my God, how do I do it? How do I do it? One other guy beside me stood up. He started running around. The guy went out. He was confused at that point. But I didn't move. I just listened to him. I bet you my visa. Most importantly, what they need to see, you don't really need to dress to impress, or you don't need that time to just look for what to wear. So sometimes some people
Just be
focus on the wrong thing. Be yourself. Some people focus on the wrong thing. They start looking for abada. They start looking for suits. They start sweating. Obviously, if I have the visa, I'll question it to death. Because to me, why? It's called an interview. It's one-on-one interview. You see some people, they're buying new suits, 92-degree fire. You are wearing suit, three-piece. You started sweating, unnecessary. Be yourself, come natural. And then I got to the interview point, and then there was this guy in front of me. I was supposed to go before him. But just because the security was questioning me for my passport, so I got delayed, maybe about a few minutes. So and then it was like, he can't wait. And then he stepped forward, he didn't even wait for me. And then we have our numbers. He didn't go by the number. Okay, I said, okay. I didn't even drag. I stepped back. I allowed him. It was his time. Counter 8. He stood up. They asked him, where is he going? He said, where is he going? They asked him, what's the purpose? He started talking plenty. What I can tell you from that story is just that it's not detailed, and then it's beginning to deviate from the main question. And the US don't like that. It's straight. When I ask you a question, answer me with a straight question. They don't need story around it. And I found out that they didn't give it to him. They rejected him. He answered all the questions, but he was
for
just
student
blabbing.
visa, right?
For student visa, he was blabbing too much.
So for someone who has been denied a student visa, can they still reapply?
Yes, you can still reapply as it is. You can still reapply, and just have it at the back of your mind that you need to be detailed. Like I mentioned earlier, focus on the question. Visa interview. Okay, I'll come back to that. Then I stepped forward. It was my turn. I stepped forward. Then I was like, hello, good morning, with a smile. I didn't even stress. And then the visa interviewer just answered me the same way. Hi, how are you? Good morning. It was just like a conversation. How are you? Where are you going? I'm going to text. Why? I use the weather condition. And then I make it known I'm coming back to my country. I'm going back to my motherland. I'm going back to my motherland, to Nigeria. because we need a lot of expertise. There are a lot of Nigerian expertise here in the US that they just need to go back to Nigeria and make it better because we have to do it by ourselves. Nobody can do it for us. We need to make sure we make our motherland a great space for us to live with our entire generation. We can't run away from it. We are Nigerians, we are African. No matter what other passport you hold, what other citizen, you are Nigerian, you are African. The visa interview, the visa officer asked, why are you going? I said, I'm going to the US to study Master's in Information Systems. Being a kind of person that like the business, I want to find a way to balance the IT and the business in order to help different businesses, local, different small scale businesses, to help them, teach them how to navigate in between. If you're in cybersecurity, you can tell them, hey, you are coming to the US to study cybersecurity and then going back to Nigeria to improve the banking system security because recent times you find out that some countries are stealing money from the bank loopholes, which is true. There are countries that they go into the Nigerian bank system. The security is weak. But most bankers in Nigeria, they won't tell you. Banks won't tell you. Annually, they are losing more than $500 million to fraud.
In dollars, right?
In Naira, talking about the banks in Nigeria, they are losing more than $500 million in Naira annually. They won't tell you they won't tell it to the customers. Because at that point, if you tell it to the customer, customers will be afraid to bring their money. And then it's at their loss. They go through this every year, day in, day out. But how do we find that? How do we safeguard that point? As a
Right.
cybersecurity analyst, cybersecurity expert, you can come in with your solution with your experience from the United States or wherever you want to learn. So those are the points you need to look at when you are going to that.
So, right. So your point, especially when it comes to that visa, people need to understand that, once you're asked questions, it's always very important for you to just be direct with your point. All right. So let's go for a quick.
Do you sell African product and want to reach the African market in the United States? Send us an email with your products at contactus@shopafricausa.com. Do you need to shop African products at the ease of your home? Visit our website on shown below, www.shopafricausa.com.
Break because our sponsor, Shop Africa USA, they sponsor this show. The best e-commerce store online when it comes to African products. So you need to go check it out. So let's just wait for our sponsors and we'll be right back. All right, welcome guys. Thank you for waiting, and you've seen Shop Africa USA, the #1 African store online in the USA. They are the best. So moving forward, let's look at the name, the cultural shock. What's the biggest surprise for you when you landed in the state?
A lot. I would say a lot. A lot. A lot of people here, when you tell them, when you pick up in the morning and then you met some on your way out or something, or while you're out in the pub or in a coffee shop, when you say good morning to them, why are you saying good morning to me? They don't care. They don't care.
I think for some reason I think that flow is the same flow with the New York City. I think it comes with big cities. I think in all those small cities, like small towns, maybe like all those local rural area, that they are not even seeing people. When you greet them, they'll be worshiping you.
Yeah.
Because I know that one.
Yeah.
They'll be worshiping you. But you see all these big cities, like in New York, you can't even sell it to someone. The max you can do, maybe if you see a black person like you, is to nod your head and they nod their head back. Yeah, that's all. Don't come and be, because greeting is like, how would you greet me? Why? They feel very like you're entering their space.
They feel attacked. They feel attacked.
That's what I'm saying. They feel like you're entering their space. Even if some of your neighbors, if you greet them, especially if you live in apartment complexes, except they really want to just flow with you. Some are like, how would he greet me? They'll be running from you anytime. I don't want to meet up with this guy, So, but let me hear from you though.
Yeah, that comes in as a shock to me, and then I learned with time It wasn't something that was that was understandable to me immediately. I had to learn that this is how it works. Just say, hey, hey. That's the way they say to you in the morning. But if you say good morning, they will look at you that you from the local
Or probably you're from the UK because
UK.
UK and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So
Is
it's
that
more
what kind of?
like, hey,
It's
what's
more
going
like
on? Or you alright?
hey,
You
hey,
know,
what's going on?
you alright? You alright? Once
Just
you say
like
you
that.
alright, you alright. That's all.
I'm telling you.
That's if you're talking to African Americans, but when you're
Yeah,
talking to whites, hi, hey, buddy, and move on.
I'm
You
telling you.
know,
I'm telling
nobody likes
you.
small talks here though.
No, no, no.
So another part, apart from that, because I know there's a lot of cultural shock that comes with it. So how were you able to connect with other Nigerians, or especially Nigerian students or fellow international folks, once you got here?
So when I got to the United States, I think, was it the first day I walked into my department, I met a Nigerian guy. I was like, oh, my brother. And then we started talking at that point. And then I found out that there are a lot of Nigerians in my school. And as at that point in time, we are just scattered within the school. And there was one day I just had a thought. I just woke up one day, I just said to myself, we have quite good numbers of Nigerians in the school. Why don't you have a group whereby we can pass information and then we can know one another in case we see each other outside? They can be able to help us. When I go to my school, people I met there, they've been there for 2 years, yeah, and I just stayed for the longest time. I don't know. I said to them, I said, hey, you know what we're going to do? Let's open a WhatsApp group to have this forum, build a community within the school so that we can pass information within ourselves, useful information within ourselves. Mr. A might have information, Mr. C needs, but he doesn't know Mr. A directly. Mr. C has to be struggling. Why not? Why can't we have that forum whereby we can pass information? The person I was speaking to said, that's good, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Okay, they didn't do anything. I gave them that idea because I met them there. They didn't take that idea at first. I spoke to him again. Hey, Yoga, what's up about the uh, WhatsApp group? I said, when are you going to create it? Who's going to create it? He said, don't worry, easy. The next time I didn't even wait for him again. I just created a group myself. I added one, Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, Mr. D. I added them together. I called them. I called a few of them. I said, hey, you can add them, Mr. I gave you the opportunity to add this person. You can add that. You can add that. Since nobody is making that action, let me make it happen. Let me start making it happen. I created a new WhatsApp group. Ever since then, everybody has been using a WhatsApp group as a channel to communicate, to pass information, and help each other. And
That's
we have,
powerful.
and then we have quite a number of people that graduated from last 2 semesters, last 3 semesters. They have information. They put it on the group. And it's very useful. Through that forum, I was able to connect to a few people within the city. And then that's how we started.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks for what you do. So as we round off, because we have like a long time spent, almost an hour. So if I'm going to ask you 3 questions, or sorry, I said 3 questions, 3 must do for living in the USA. If a friend asks you and say, okay, Abiodun, what is 3 things I must do as a student living in the USA? What would you say? Or 3 things they have to know as a student living in the USA? What would you?
Okay. As a student coming to the USA, to live while you're studying here, to survive, make a research of where you are going. Is it affordable? I think at the back of your mind that you are coming cash to sponsor yourself till maybe when you can get a job after school. You have to check the affordability of that state you are going to, number one. Number two, we have to check the weather. Can I survive in this weather at a certain period of time? Balance that. Number three, have it at the back of your mind that you are starting from scratch in a different culture. You have to unlearn what you will learn and then relearn. Have
Very
those things
important.
at the back of your mind. It's going to help you. It's going to take you far.
All
Those three
right.
things. Don't play with it.
All right. Thank you so much. And for our listeners, thank you for staying. And I'm sure you've been able to learn a lot from this particular episode of the Nigerian Abroad Show, where we bring in a student who is currently in the United States, who's going to give you ideas, who has given you enough ideas on how you're going to get started. For all of you that said, okay, I want to move to the United States to come and school here, he has already given you all the information you need. So if you also need to reach out to him, you can reach out to me and I can all give you his contact for how you're going to reach out to him. So, but it's up to him if you want, because I know he has a consulting firm. He has but I know he does advice to consulting advice to people who want to go through that path of being a student in the United States. You can reach out to him. I don't know if you want to give out his contact, so you can actually probably, if you want to give them your email address or probably your Instagram or somewhere they can actually reach out, you can actually do that right now.
Well, I will prefer they should contact you.
So
I'll give you my own, and you can drop below the link
okay,
as well. They
all
can
right.
send me an email as well.
So if you wanna, you want to ask one or two questions about the processes, especially when it comes to student visa, you can reach out to me. Then I'm gonna reach out to him on your behalf. You already know how you're gonna contact me. You can just send me, or you can just comment below, and you get a message in your DM. So let's get it going. And if you know someone who's trying to get a student visa or they're trying to come and school in the US, they love the ideas of, and they need one or two advice, you can share this link for them. Let them watch this video and be able to navigate that tough. It's very, very important. You need to take note of this, that the year is coming to an end. The year has ended already. In a few days' time, we're going to get 2025. So I don't know if you're watching this thing in 2028. Remember, this thing still applies to you. If you're watching it anytime you're watching, but we shot this at the final days of 2024. So see you next year. And hopefully you sit down and you watch more of our episodes. Make sure you share this video. Share it to all your friends who are planning to, to go, who are planning to have that step of coming to the United States to come and study, and also people who are already here that want to learn one or two things. So you need to share it with your friends. So till next time, let's keep putting Nigeria high. Let's keep putting Africa high, to the highest level. So, and this message does not even apply to only Nigerians and Africans only. So even if you're Indian and you also want to understand the process of the student visa, this is an opportunity for you. All right, till next time, thank you so much, Abiodun. Thank you for coming on the show. And hopefully next time we can bring you on the show and we can discuss another matter. So until next time, have a nice day, guys. And Happy New Year in advance. All right, guys, bye.